Court is back in session and calls number 23-CCCR 0838. Case is style, the state of Texas versus Jorge Villanueva. Mr. Villanueva, would you please come forward? Mr. Villanueva, your full name is Jorge Villanueva?
Yeah.
Would you please raise your right hand?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Oh, we need an interpreter. Just have him to have a seat. Filled out his paper. Okay. Next case is cause number 23-CCCR 0846. Case is style of state of Texas versus Christopher Cantu. Mr. Cantu.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Cantu, your full name is Christopher Cantu?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cantu, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Cantu? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Cantu, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature online that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your
Are these your initials online stating you would like to waive the right to attorney and to represent yourself?
Honor. Yes, yes, Your Honor.
I also have a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering Guilty Plea. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature online that's titled defendant? And Mr. Cantu, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
The thing is, I don't have a court-appointed lawyer, so the information that I got right now, since I don't have one, I wanted to speak to prosecutors. to see
Okay,
if we-
well, my question is,
Yes,
did you read these
Yes.
documents? Did you understand what you read on these documents?
yes, sir.
And is everything on these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Mr. You can have a seat. We'll have one of the prosecutors come out and talk to you. We're gonna need Mr. You can just have a seat where you were sitting. Jorge Villanueva. Would you please come back up? Okay. Good morning. And we have Miss Cynthia Renteria, who is our Spanish interpreter. Miss Renteria, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish to help you God?
Yes,
Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Miss Renteria?
I'm well, thank you.
That's good. And Mr. now, ask Mr. Villanueva if his full name is Jorge Villanueva.
Ese es su nombre completo, Jorge Villanueva.
Jorge Concepción Villanueva.
Jorge Concepción Villanueva.
Okay. Now, ask him how he's doing.
¿Cómo está?
Yes, yes.
He's
Doing
doing
good?
good.
Okay. Now, I have this document before me that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Ask him if he recognizes this document.
¿Reconoce ese documento?
Sí.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Villanueva, I see that you speak Spanish.
¿Usted habla español? Yes.
He speaks some English.
¿Habla poquito inglés? Yes.
Okay. Now, I noticed this document is in English, and you had someone to help. Ask him if he had someone to help him to fill this document out.
Ese documento está en inglés. ¿Tuvo la ayuda de alguien para llenarlo?
No, con el teléfono.
With his phone, Judge.
Oh, he used his phone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on this document, is this your signature?
¿Ese es su firma en ese documento? Yes.
And are these your initials on the line stating that you'd like to have your
Yes,
case
son
reset to apply to hire your attorney?
¿Y quiere tiempo para agarrar un abogado? Yes, sir, that is.
Okay, so your case is going to be reset. Please stand,
Pase para acá, le van a dar otra
Okay.
fecha para que-
and you have a blessed day. Christopher Cantu, call number 23 CCCR 0846. Okay, you already, no, that's all right. Already got you. Jose Alvarez, is Jose Antonio Alvarez Gudino? Is that correct? Okay, now, is that your full name? Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Sure.
How are you doing, Mr. Alvarez Godino?
How about yourself, Mr. Holmes?
You can put your hand down.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I just signed it.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you would like to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself? I also have another document that's titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Sure.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, just please have a seat, and we're gonna have someone to come out from the district attorney's office to talk to you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Renteria.
Yes, sir.
Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 0842. Case is style of State of Texas versus Brianna Denise Cabos. Ms. Cabos, your full name is Brianna Denise Cabos.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Cabos?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Cabos. I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, are these your initials on the line stating you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indians. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cabos, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the document?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cabos, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney, and the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Peter Doyle. Mr. Doyle will be given information to contact you. You will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you'll be blessed day. Please have a seat in that first chair, not a wall. You're welcome. Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 0658. Case of style of State of Texas versus Catherine Lee Boudreaux. Ms. Boudreaux, you're gonna have to put your purse on in a chair. Okay. Ms. Boudreaux, your full name is Catherine Lee Boudreaux. Ms. Boudreaux, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Boudreaux, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Ms. Boudreaux, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Boudreaux? Doing okay? That's good. Now, Ms. Boudreaux, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant? Now, these are your initials on the line that state you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney. I also have a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indians. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature? Ms. Boudreaux, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Boudreaux, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in your case is Attorney Marva Provo. Attorney Provo will be given information to contact you. You will be given information to contact her. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go. And you'll have a blessed day. Please have a seat in that third chair on the wall. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 0820. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Paige Diane Dickerson. Ms. Dickerson, your full name is Paige Diane Dickerson.
Yes,
Ms. Dickerson, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Dickerson, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
Ms. Dickerson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Dickerson?
All right.
That's good. Ms. Dickerson, I have before me two documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document that is titled Those Kind of Affidavit of Injuries. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dickerson, before you sign and initial all of these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Sort of.
You say sort of.
Sort of. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So on that second page, that was not,
The second page
or
of
the third page with the asterisks, that was
the
not.
second
cited.
page, huh?
The third page, I think the asterisks, yes, sir, that one.
Right.
That was not waiving my, rights to an attorney. or-
No, it
Okay.
doesn't say that. It says that I have been advised of my right to representation by counsel in connection with the charge pending against me. I certify that I'm without means to employ counsel for my own choosing. I hereby request the court to appoint counsel for me.
Yeah, it was
Now, did
mentioned.
you understand that?
Yes, sir.
That was the only thing you didn't understand?
I think so.
Okay.
A lot.
Now, the other thing was the unsworn declaration. It just has your name, your date of birth, your address, and that you declare under penalty of perjury that this stuff in this document, this information in this document is true and correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, let me do this here. Go over this here again. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
Next document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Injuries. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a signature on the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Dickerson, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc will be given information to contact you. You will be given information to contact him. And our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Now, you're going to have a seat in that third chair on the wall. All right? Next case is cause number M333858. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Justin Ray Savoy. Mr. Savoy, your full name is Justin Ray Savoy.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ford, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ford, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Savoy, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Savoy? That's good. Now, Mr. Savoy, I have before me two documents. First document is titled Jefferson County, it's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Or these your initials on the line stated that you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document here. This document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Sir.
And on page 2 of this same document is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Sir.
Now, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
understand what you read? And is everything, I guess, in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Savoy, I need to ask you some information regarding need to ask some questions about some information on the affidavit of indigence, and I'm going to go off the record on that. Court is back in session and calls number 23 CCCR 0846 cases styled the state of Texas versus Christopher Cantu. Mr. Cantu. That's, hold on, wrong one. Justin, okay. Court is back in session and calls number M333858 cases styled the state of Texas versus Justin Ray Savoy. Again, Mr. Savoy, would you please raise your right hand? Savoy, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Savoy, you may put your hand down. Mr. Savoy, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants to our Attorney. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the document?
It is.
And are these your initials on the line that states you'd like to apply for court appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
And also I have before me a document that Jefferson County Affidavit of Interest. Recognize this document.
Sure.
And on page 2 of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, you made some changes on this document, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is everything on these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Savoy, based on your answers, meet the eligibility requirements of the appointment of court-appointed attorney. Attorney be appointed to represent you as Attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds will give information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in that first chair on the wall. Okay, thank you. Oh, hope this it's taking a minute to warm up. Hey. Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 0846 case of style of state of Texas versus Christopher Cantu. Mr. Cantu, would you please come forward? Mr. Cantu, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Cantu, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cantu, you may put your hand down. Mr. Cantu, I have before me two documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorneys. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document entitled Waiver of Counsel for Purpose of Entering a Guilty Plea Proceeding Trial. You recognize this document? Now, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the document? And is everything on these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Cantu, it alleges that you, Christopher Cantu, on or about February 26th of 2023, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Cantu, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Cantu, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
No.
You don't want to fight? Okay, Mr. Cantu. Now, before we go any further, Mr. Cantu, you have a right to have a record. What that basically means, you have a right to have a court reporter to type down everything that's being said. Now, you can waive, which means you could give up a right to have a record if you desire. Do you waive or give up your right for a record in this case? You do? Okay. Now, Mr. Cantu, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials. Oh, he got it on one. He missed a spot. What that X is on that line, he needs to, what is the initials?
Just that on each sheet, Judge.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you supposed to, where the X's are, you're supposed to put these initials.
Which one? Process, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cantu. I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of this document, there are two set of initials. The first set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked nola contendere, which means no contest. You place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second set of initials is below a paragraph that's titled Discovery's Admonishment, and it's on a line next to a statement that reads as follows. I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery of the evidence in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. You place your initials on this document.
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Cantu, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? And did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Cantu, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Cantu, State is offering State's Exhibit Number 1 to be admitted in evidence. State's Exhibit Number 1 is the document that I showed you on this, the first document I showed you on this tablet. It is also the same document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. State would like to use this document as evidence in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Cantu, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? There's none? Okay. Mr. Cantu, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of no contest, the state's offering 180 days probated over a year, $500 fine, 60 hours community service, and standard DWI conditions with court cost.
Okay. And he has a It's a DWI class A, so he's required to have an interlock intervention. Okay, now, what's the court cost in this case? 377. That's 1 year. Oh, and they had that other fine. That's gonna be in there, that $100 fine gonna be in there. 15. Let me do this. Okay. Now, Mr. Cantu. State is offering that you pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $377. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll also be required to pay a DPS fine of $100. Your total amount that you would have to pay each month is $172 a month. Will you be able to pay the $172 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you'll also be required to pay the DWI initial evaluation fee of $125. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50 a month. Now, you'll be placed on, you're sentenced to 180 days in jail. However, you're not have to serve any time in jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. And you will also be required to have the DWI intervention class. You will be required to have an interlock device installed on any vehicle that you own or operate. And do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Okay. Now, do you accept the state's offer? And let's see, the court is going to follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Cantu, you're going to have a seat in that first chair by the wall. And then when the court coordinator is ready, she's going to ask you to come up before her window. Which, oh, hit the other. Okay, okay. We can, Court is in session in two cases, cause number 23-CCCR 0822, cause number 23-CCCR 0824. Both cases are styled as State of Texas versus Jose Antonio Alvarez Gudino. Mr. Alvarez Gudino, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez Gudino, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Alvarez Godino, before we go forward, you have a right to have a record of this proceeding. That is, you have a right to have a court reporter to type or dictate everything that's being said. You also have a right to waive or give up your right to have a court reporter. You waive or give up your right to have a court reporter?
Thank you for that.
You give up your right. Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, I have before me two documents. First document
Yes,
is
sir.
titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir. I just signed it on.
Yes, and this is your signature,
Yes,
and these are your initials. Is that correct? On the next document is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Guilty Plea Proceeding Trial. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on this document? And before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, you read these documents.
Yes,
And did you understand everything that you read?
yes,
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
everything.
Okay, now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, in cause number 23-CCCR 0822, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Jose Antonio Alvarez Godino, that on or about June 22nd of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yeah.
And to discharge Mr. Alvarez Godino, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Yeah.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
To get it out the way.
Now, my question is, are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yeah, deal.
Okay. Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize
Yes, sir.
this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials.
You'll have to initial these.
Oh, yeah. Like he initialed that one, but not. Yeah, with
Bottom
the
one.
X's, yeah.
One
What an X is at the,
at the bottom of it.
got it. Mr. Godino Alvarez.
Sure.
I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Again, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, that set up two sets of initials on this. He got it on the wrong line. On this one, he got, it's what an X is. On the, he put his initials on the other line.
Put it on the side. Oh, gotta be on top of it.
Or they could erase that X and put it there.
Oh,
We'll just put his initials instead of an X, is that fine?
That's fine. Okay. Yes, Mr. Alvarez Godino, on page 2 of this document, there are two sets of initials. First set of initials is below a paragraph that is titled waiver, and it's on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document? The next set of initials is below a paragraph that is titled discovery admonishment, and the initials are on the line next to a statement that reads as follows. I do not request discovery of evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. No contingency. Is this your
yes,
signature?
sir.
Or are these your initials?
This is mine.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled
Yes,
defendant?
sir.
Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, before you sign, now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, at the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez Gadino, are you a citizen of the United States?
No, sir.
You're not?
I'm resident.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, I have another document that I need to go over with you. This document is titled, you can hand that to me. And that document is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino,
Yeah.
what country are you from?
Mexico. Yes,
Mexico?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I'm raised in Texas and I'm 2 years old.
Okay, now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, this document reads as follows. For all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries, as a non-US citizen who is being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular officers here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular officers. A consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want us to notify your consular officers, you can request this notification now or at any time in the future. Do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time?
Do I need to? Do I'm getting arrested or something?
No,
Oh, okay.
you're not getting arrested. I'm saying, I'm informing you that that you have a right to have your consular officers from Mexico to be notified of your situation. And as this document states, you may be able to, a consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation or may contact your family or visit you.
That's right. It's fine.
Okay, now, the question says, do you want us to notify your consular office
Yeah.
at this time? And you can circle either yes or no.
My family's are here in Texas, so I don't got nobody on there.
Okay, now, you need to print your name
Already there.
on, and you signed it
Yes, sir.
and you witness it? Okay,
Yeah, everybody's out here. I don't got family on there.
okay. Also, let me do this here. Let me go back on to State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment.
Yeah.
On this document, this is the first document on the tablet.
Yes, sir.
There's a paragraph that is titled Citizenship,
Yes, sir.
and it reads as follows. If you're not a U.S. citizen or plead guilty or no contendere, or which is no contest,
Yeah.
may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. You understand that?
Yes, sir. I read it. I went through it.
Okay,
I don't think it's a big case to go through that.
well, just go ahead on and initial it. The initial, the paragraph that's titled citizenship.
Yes, right, my
No, your initials. Your initials signifies that you read and understand everything in this document. Now, you still want to go forward with your plea?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I gave you that other one,
The witness.
the one he just said. The English? Yeah, I need that back. Okay, thank you. Now, State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, the state is offering State's Exhibit 1 to be used as evidence against you. State's Exhibit 1 is this first document on the tablet.
Yeah.
This is a document that you have your initials next to the paragraph that's titled citizenship. It also the document that have your initials on these two
Yes,
locations
sir.
on page 2 and your signature on page 3.
Yes, sir.
The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case.
Yes.
Is it all right for the state to use this document as
Yes, sir.
evidence in your case? Okay, no objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gardino, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Do you have any mental,
I'm competent. I'm having problems with that.
okay, you understand what's going on? You don't have any mental problems
Nah, I
that
just-
affects your ability to understand?
I'm going through the course right now. That's what I got.
Okay, but my question is, I'm wondering about, if you're mentally competent.
Nah, not really. I got too much stress on my head.
Okay, so you're not competent?
For today, yeah, I'm good, but I don't know. You said it's extended or I didn't, you can repeat the question?
Okay, yes, you started, okay.
Yeah.
The question is, okay, are you mentally competent to stand trial?
Yes, sir.
You understand what you've been charged with,
I've been charged.
nature and consequences of this charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Alvarez Gardino. The court is going to accept your plea of guilty. The court is going to find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. The court will find that your pleas and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. But will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 1 year deferred, 40 hours community service with $250 fine, and that is to run concurrent with 23 CCR 0824.
What is this court cost?
377.
377. And the fine is 250.
I gotta pay both of the fines here.
I'm gonna explain it to you. Yeah, let me add it up. Okay. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250. You'll also be required to pay a laugh fee of $100. You'll be required to pay court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your announcement fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $158 a month. Will you be able to pay the $158 each month?
I pay around already for the municipal courthouse. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, this case, now you will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And this case will run concurrent with the companion case, which is cause number 23 CCCR 0824. Now, Mr. Alvarez Cadena, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Think the state's offering your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez Cadena, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state.
For the community service, I can do them in Port Arthur, right?
Your probation officer
He'll let you know.
will let you know. Okay, the next case is cause number 23CCCR 0824. I have before me a document that is titled information sheet. This information sheet was also filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, it alleges that you, Jose Antonio Alvarez Gadino, on or about June 22nd of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place. Mr. Alvarez Gadino, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty?
Yes.
Okay, now are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? And Mr. Alvarez Gadino, as in the previous two cases, we have a judge's explanation of rights to defendants without an attorney. In that document, you stating that you're waiving your right to an attorney and you desire to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And also we have a waiver of counsel that you also signed. That was the waiver of counsel for purposes of entering guilty plea or proceeding to trial.
Yes,
And
sir.
you read and signed both those documents. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, also I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Now, before I go forward on this document, I notice here what it says it shows me that one's supposed to be checked instead of the class, the B, it's a DWI. Erased out.
That third one happened.
Yes, it's a DWI.
I get him to go ahead and initial this third page on
Let's see.
right here. He has an initial right here.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have him initial that real quick.
it's the page one, the first, yeah, go down to where it says citizenship.
Have him initial here in that third page.
Yeah.
I'll right beside it on initial.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. You recognize this document? Now, we just made a change on this document. The previous box, it was a Class B misdemeanor that was checked. The box says check 9 is driving while intoxicated, DWI. It's still a Class B misdemeanor. It's just that for a DWI misdemeanor, the range of punishment is confinement in jail for at least 72 hours, but not to exceed 180 days, a fine not to exceed $2,000 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for a Class B DWI? Now, at the bottom of this same document, there are a set of initials next to a paragraph under the paragraph that is titled citizenship.
Yes, sir.
And it reads as follows: if you are not a U.S. citizen or plead guilty in a local contingere, may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there are initials in 2 locations. The first set of initials is next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials
Yes, sir.
here? The second set of initials is next to a statement that reads, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I've waived my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty, no contest. And did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Alvarez Gardino, they also have a document that is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Stop at this document, there's one box that's checked, the box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And also in this document, we will also have the document that says that this is for all foreign nationals. And on this document, this says English for all foreign nationals except those in mandatory notification country. And under the question that states, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? You circle no, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document?
On the left side, yeah.
Okay. Over here,
Yes, sir.
okay. Now, Mr. Alvarez Godino, before you signed and initialed all of these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
You understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and
Yes,
correct
sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Might have to put the numbers on that, cause numbers. Okay, Mr. Alvarez Godino. Now state, do you have you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, state is offering State's Exhibit number 1 to be used as the evidence in this case. State's Exhibit number 1 is a document, first document that we showed you.
Yeah.
Has your initials next to the paragraph decided citizenship and your initials in the 2 locations on page 2 and your signature on page 3.
Yes, sir.
Is it all right for the state to use these documents as evidence in your case? Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And the court is going to find Mr. Alvarez Godino. The court is going to accept your plea of guilty. The court is going to find that you are admitted to competent stand trial, but will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. The court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state is offering 1 year deferred or at 40 hours community service with a $250 fine. And this is to run concurrent with 23 CCR 0822.
Okay, is this do you have community service in this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's
40
40?
hours.
40?
40 hours, yes, sir.
Okay. And the fine is 250.
250.
What's the court cost?
392.
Okay, let me do this here.
Judges.
Okay, let me do this here. Okay. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation on this case. During the 1 year deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a DPS fee fine of $100. Now, you'll also be required to pay probation fee of $6 a month, reimbursement fee of $15 a month. And, well, a year analysis fee of $15 a month and a reimbursement fee of $15. Now, your total monthly installments in this case actually will be $150. However, because you are already on probation, the probation fee, the rest, the year analysis fee and the reimbursement fee is paid in the other case. You won't have to pay it in this case.
Okay.
So in essence, you'll be paying about $67 a month in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. You'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions.
How would that work if I work 70 hours a week?
You could talk to your probation officer.
Okay.
You also be required to attend and complete a DW education class, have a alcohol assessment, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino,
Yes, sir.
do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
It's a whole year, they do everything good. I don't got.
The probation is for 1 year,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You understand the state's
Yeah.
offer?
This is it all.
You think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Now, the court is going to follow that plea bargain agreement. Now, Mr. Alvarez Gadino, the state in cause number, well, the court in cause number 23 CCCR 0822 stated that your probation fee in that case was $150 a month. I made an error. It's going to be $141 a month. It's going to be lower than I previously said.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Now, would you be able to pay that amount as well?
together, 41 and the other one?
It's 141 and 67.
167 and 40, yeah.
Okay. Now, the court is going to follow these plea bargains agreements. If you successfully complete the probation, if in these cases, this case will be dismissed, will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure.
Okay.
You can talk to an attorney about a non-disclosure. You're gonna stand in front of or just have a seat. She's gonna do your paperwork. Once you finish your paperwork, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And thanks for being patient with us. And this will conclude the calling of the court's arraignment docket in County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.